Hello, everyone. This is Zayami Eccles Irwin from FilmFestivalCircuit.com and the Assistant Director of the Oregon Short Film Festival. We are gearing up for our spring 2023 session, which is going to be on May 29th at the beautiful historic Clinton Street Theater. And today I'm talking with one of our participating filmmakers. Jim Watson is the director of Lucid. Jim, thank you so much for talking with me today.
Oh, thanks for having me. This is gonna be great.
Lucid is an incredible short. Let's
Thank you.
jump right into it. What inspired you to tell this story?
Yeah, the idea is sort of it. It all stemmed around this idea of letting go of hope, which I know sounds kind of down, but lucidity to me has always been an interesting concept. You know, when you have like Alzheimer's or dementia or some sort of ailment that causes you to kind of break from reality, it's those moments for the people around you when you are lucid and you come back. I've witnessed so many people just hang on to those for dear life, and I think it always stemmed to me as this sort of idea that lucidity is a symptom.
Hmm,
It's not the reality, and I think people lose focus of that because they're so close to it.
right.
And I sort of always looked at the male character played by John Hannah as sort of this image of what society is. It's sort of, you know, the mental health crisis, the
Right.
housing crisis. It's not going well. And we are sort of this as a society, or the female character played by Laurence Leboeuf, and we're sort of watching this happen. And it's these moments of lucidity where society sort of seems to be going well
Right.
that kind of gives us hope. I've always had this sort of staunch statement of like, at some point we have to just let go. And if this film were to continue on, that moment would have to come, you know, to some degree, is we have to
Yeah.
let go of hope sometimes and actually do something, be proactive. And yeah, that's it. All kind of came from there. And I always had that sort of idea, that little flip for which you haven't, you know, you'll see when you see the film, but that sort of was just something that I've always wanted to put into a script. So it all kind of melded together.
Totally.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's a lot to unpack there. It's
Yeah.
it's a it's a deep film, and it's interesting because it is open ended, and so
Mhm.
it allows you to kind of have, a various stream. People are going to relate to it in different ways. Uh, I'm interested. God, I mean, I could talk about those concepts all day, but I don't want to spoil the film.
Yeah. It's
Uh,
hard.
let's talk a little bit about your male character and what it was like filming these things. One, trying to capture the reality of what it looks like to be mentally ill and on the street, and also what was it like to make what's largely sort of a silent film in a
Hmm.
lot of cases. He is
Hmm.
talking, but it's not that type of information. What was that like?
It was, I mean, sorry, do you hear something, an alarm going off? My
Let's see here.
apologies. Is that me or you?
I think it's you. I don't hear it because there is like a kind of a
Good.
noise
We'll
limiter, but
ignore
if
it.
there's a fire and you need to take a look, all
Yeah.
good.
We'll find out. I'll smell
Okay,
something.
just
I
the
mean,
smoke rolling by.
yeah. To answer your question, it it was a it was something we were constantly trying to be aware of because the subject matter is sort of difficult and sensitive to a lot of people. So
Totally.
John is amazing, and John allowed us to sort of approach that in an appropriate way just within his performance. It never felt like we were poking fun or doing anything immature or anything like that. We were always respectful of it. Um, so going about doing that and actually shooting it in the city, downtown Montreal, Canada, that had its own sort of um, bridges that we had to cross in a way. You
Right.
know, there were certain realities of the shoot that we had to keep John Hannah, who's quite a well-known actor, safe, and give him the
Mm,
space. So just the logistics of filming it from that aspect were interesting on such a low-budget single-day shoot.
right.
Um, but yeah, for me, it was taking a subject matter that is, like I said, something that is very personal to a lot of people, um, and just sort of approaching it in a smart and safe way. It was a new thing for me. It was baby steps. It was a lot of
Absolutely.
careful, yeah, kind of carefully trotting forward, and without stubbing our toes.
Totally. Well, his performance is incredible, and I think it is a really hard role to do.
Yeah.
I mean, not only in respectfully becoming this character, but also just trying to incorporate the types of mannerisms of someone who's lacking lucidity and is wavering. I mean,
Yeah.
it's incredible. I want to the female lead as well. Was very very striking performance, and the ending is quite touching. What was it like working with her on this?
Oh, it was. I mean, so I'm an actor on a television series
Right.
that shoots in Montreal, and both of them are my co-stars in it. So
Okay.
we yeah. So it was kind of, we all love each other, and it was easy to work with them. But we sort of focused on the juxtaposition of the two characters. Where in John's case, as the male, he was sort of big and expansive and off into the distance. And with Laurence Leboeuf, who plays the female role, I wanted everything to just be here, to be like she is the post that everything is
Okay. Yeah.
tethered to. And with the lack of dialogue, which was purposeful. Everything had to be in her eyes. Everything had to be in her physicality, in the way she moved, in the space between the two actors was really important to us. Honestly, because I think I've known them for a few years now, working with them was like we barely had to say anything. We all kind of got each other. And working
That's
with
great.
someone like Laurence, she's been doing this for 26 years, I think, which you could never tell by looking at her.
Right.
She just a professional, and was always up for anything and never said, no. It was always yes. Oh, what if we try this? It was always the yes and approach from both of them, and it made my job extremely easy.
That's great. And you know what I hear from independent films, it really helps to have a crew of people that you trust and are
Yeah.
familiar with. And the fact that you did this as a single day shoot in what appears to be kind of tricky outdoor locations. I mean, it takes that strong team to accomplish that. So,
Oh yeah. It was. I mean, and so my producing partners, Kyle Mack and Sam Graham, they aren't from Montreal either. So
mm,
they were coming in and getting these locations and finding these people, and the crew we threw together. We shot this on a Sunday from crew who were working all week on other
right.
projects. So it was really amazing. And every time I watch it, it makes me just remember the fact that like people came together to do this with me and for me in a way. And it's very
Totally.
humbling. So it's this whole piece, this whole film just really taught me that if you trust people to do the job that you hired them to do, amazing things happen, and that really was it. It's just a great experience all around.
That's fantastic. Well, I want to ask a little bit about another very crucial component of this film, which is the sound design.
Mm.
Uh, it's incredibly well done, from the score, which kind of brings you into it, to the internal sort of I don't know, dialogue, so to speak.
Hmm.
What was that process like?
Again, I wish I could sit here and be like, oh, we painstakingly were in and out. I think we let the music and the sound design, they gave me their first pass,
Okay.
and it was beautiful. My notes were kind of baroque. I want it to be
Okay.
big, and I want it to, feel at times chaotic and painful, and I want it to tell us what's going on, but also kind of juxtapose what's going on. And I gave them, like, I think a full sheet of just rambling nonsense, and they came up with pretty much what you saw.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
It was astounding. Like, there was very little notes, minor tweaks. I think one meeting maybe. Um, I just really, from my end of it, I mean, they, geniuses that they are, they could probably speak to this more, but it was just, to me, I've always said that sound is the most important element to a film,
Yep.
because I said this, which probably made them love me. I don't know, but I said I could shoot a movie on a Nokia flip phone from 2004, and if it doesn't sound good, well, it's not art.
Yeah.
But if it sounds good, it's art, and
It's
that's the thing, right? So
true words.
so I think they kind of got hopped up on that and really
Right.
delivered.
Well, props to them. You had a tight team and you made a tight film. People that you've worked with a little bit, some people were new. It seems like you have a lot of experience in the industry. What I want to know though is, did you take any new insights on filmmaking or directing from this experience?
Oh, definitely. I mean, I
Okay.
did a short film a few years back, called A Northern Song, and I was much more, it was my first film. I was like,
Right.
I was much more hands
Totally.
on in the process, and this one I actively just try to do the opposite. You know, I wanted to be a leader, and I wanted to make sure that when questions were asked, I could answer them. But I really learned that, like I've said a few times, it's just trusting in the people around you. And as long as you're clear with, as the director, with what you want, they will deliver. I've always said it's like my partner and I have a production company called Same Canoe, which is a ridiculous name. But our concept is always like shooting a movie is like racing down white water rapids.
Okay, yeah.
Someone has to be steering, right?
Right.
And that's me in this particular situation. But I can't see every fallen tree, every rock, every rapid. So I need the people in my boat to scream at me what's coming at us.
Right.
And then I have to move the rudder. And that's how I look at filmmaking. And if I have the right people in front of me, I think we can get to the bottom safely. So this film really allowed me to really put a lot more trust in those people, especially due to the time crunch. I mean, I couldn't be as probably fully prepared as I wish I was at times, but they picked up my slack, which there was a lot of at times.
Well, I love that metaphor. I feel like you just explained the art of directing in a clearer, fresher way. Where when everyone asks me, "What does a director do?" I'm going to be like, "You see, they're steering a rudder."
Yeah,
that was great, and I love that philosophy, and it definitely reads in your film. I mean,
Oh.
a single day shoot, it's so polished. The performances are so great.
Thank you.
There's so many varied locations. Now I'm very curious. What's next, Jim? What are you working on next? Any more shorts? I know you have an acting job.
Yeah, my acting. Yeah, I leave on Thursday to go to Montreal to start season 4 of that. So that'll
Okay.
be the next 6 months. But
Probably
it's-
busy during that time, but
Yeah, busy, but it allots me some free time. So I have a lot of writing projects. I have a few TV
Nice.
series that we're pitching, and a couple features that I'm in developing. And yeah, it's the future looks good. You know, I have a renewed sense of what I want to do. So that's good. And you know, being part of a film festival, like honestly, it does a lot more, I think, for the creators than you think.
Okay.
Like being recognized and appreciated. It truly is. I very much appreciate it on my end. It's nice to know that people care, you know. So yeah, so I'm continuing on forward, and I'm going to keep doing what I do.
That's fantastic. No, it seems like you have a lot of irons in the fire. You have great momentum. I'm excited to see more from you, and I'm very excited to screen Lucid on May 29th at the Clinton Street Theater. I
Thank you.
think, especially here in Portland, people are really going to connect with the subject matter and are really going to enjoy someone taking the time to explore this topic. And yeah, thank you, Jim, so much for talking with me today. And I
Thank
look
you.
forward to seeing more from you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
All right, take care.
You too.